Right, welcome to Z-CarCulture, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tino.
And my name is Brian Willis, no relation to Bruce. And today we've got the Toyota Vanguard 2022 model, and it's pretty much a stretched out RAV4.
All right, thank you so much for watching, guys.
Thank you
catch
so
you
much.
on the next one. Peace out.
Whoa, guys.
All right.
There's a lot more to talk about this car. Brian, are you forgetting that this car is a Toyota? It's closely related to the HBA.
Okay. Wait. Guys, okay, no, it's cool, it's fine. Okay, so there's so much to talk about.
Okay.
Editor, roll the title card. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Oh, now you want to do it.
He wants to do it
I want
again.
to do it proper now. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Brought to you by CarCrazy.Africa, news, reviews, and automotive classifieds.
Okay. Before we start the episode, a big shout out to Yarutso Car Rental. They're the ones that graciously provided this pristine looking Toyota Vanguard. And if you want a car like this for hire, it's about $85 with Yarutso. So be sure to check them out using the links in the description below and tell them Z-CarCulture sent you. Anyways, back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the Toyota 2012
The
Vanguard. Keep that. What?
Okay, clearly it's 90-degree weather out there, and though it looks brilliant in black with the chrome trim and stuff, it's hot to the touch. Also hot to the look, actually.
Yeah, it looks pretty handsome, pretty, should I say luxurious? Because, like we said before, it's very closely related to the RAV4. So this was mainly supposed to be like a stretched out version, yes, for 17.
It's pretty
but
much a
also
RAV4.
supposed to be a little bit more luxurious than the RAV4, though luxury is a relative term because it's not
Especially when you're talking about Toyota.
Yeah, take that with a dump truck of salt. But anyways, looking at the design, like I said before, it looks fabulous.
Yeah.
The chrome bits, like I said, I'm not a fan of chrome, but they work okay.
Especially with the
one.
black. It reminds
Yeah.
me of the Nissan X-Trail, the T32.
Yeah, which
You
we
can
did.
definitely tell the two of them are competitors.
Yeah, and we did a review of that car. Link or up there, and also link
Where?
down there. The description. Yeah, somewhere on the screen. Anyway.
Look, Toyota here, I think they really took their time with the design. I mean, I love that whole shiny chromey bit on the fog lights, park lights.
Yeah, on the fog lights.
Yeah.
And then with the bumper here, which protrudes a little bit outwards there, down there, which I like too.
Adds on to the menacing look of the car. It's a very nice looking car coming from the front. And
Simple yet elegant.
Yeah.
And then to the side, yeah.
Moving on to the side.
Oof. I think this is the only part where the chrome works for me. This strip here, it's just like a nice little like topping on a beautiful cake. I mean, it just looks fabulous.
If you like your topping at the bottom.
Yes, if you like. Why you gotta do it like that, bro? Why? Anyways, again, traditional turn signals on the rear view mirror. Nice.
And your anti-curbing mirror just below the rear view mirror. If you remember, the X-Trail also had something similar, but it had wheel covers. This one actually has
Pretty nice wheels.
nice wheels, 17 inches.
17s,
yeah.
Look really nice, actually.
They're really nice. It
Complements the
really,
look.
that whole silver look on the tires adds on to the whole black and silver trim around the rest of the car.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
the-
nice look, although obviously these are aftermarket.
Yeah, but it's a nice theme though, like silver and black, real nice.
Yep.
Really nice.
And again, the roof line, you can tell the target market here. You're looking at the Outlanders, the X-Trails, similar roof line, but you can tell that even though they tried to improve on the aerodynamics of the car, they didn't want to compromise on the interior as well. So the roofline doesn't really slope that much. That also helps you in the front when you're driving. When you look throughout your rear view, you're not looking throughout like you've got enough space to see clearly behind you.
Yeah, and then Back here, you've got your privacy glass tinted. This comes from factory with it. And it's quite clever because on the outside, you can't really see what's inside. But when you're inside...
You can see the outside quite clearly.
Exactly, which is the perfect combo.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. The rest is pretty standard affair. I mean, this is a crossover and you can't really do much in terms of design. It's going to look the way it looks because that's what it is.
Yes.
And so, next we move on to the back and see what's going on there. Start us off.
Okay, so looking at the lovely rear end of the Vanguard.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Handsome little thing, man. Okay, so this one's got the red lights. There's the facelift with the white lights.
But
I kind of like the way they did the silver on the lights on this one. It carries on the whole theme with the
rest of the car. They didn't actually have to.
They didn't have to,
but they just did it.
But they were just like, hey, let's just make it look a bit more aesthetic, and they did it. And you know, I love the combination of the red, the silver, the white, with the black. I have to say, black really sits well with these crossovers.
It does. It does. Like even this is not too much chrome, but it's
not
enough.
gratuitous.
It's not gratuitous.
Yeah.
And the way the tailgate opens, you'd actually think that the handle's like somewhere here, but actually because it's based on the RAV4, the handle's actually right here, and opens pretty wide, which is good. You need that.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of sideways opening doors, especially trunks, because like, okay, I'm just trying to be practical here. Like, imagine you're carrying something heavy, and it needs like 3 people to be carrying it, and there's like a wall this side and a wall this side. The only option you have is to come from that side, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, you do have your...
This is why I'm always a fan of, you know, the ones that lift up.
They go up.
But it's not really that much of a train smash because, look, you're not really going to be carrying things that are extra heavy in such a car anyway, because it's not really...
Yeah, it's not really meant for that.
This is not a Hilux.
Yeah, but you know what? It's quite interesting, you know, what's going on inside here. So let's take a closer look at what's going on there.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're in the inside of the Vanguard, the Z-Toyota.
Yes.
And look, it's
a Toyota.
It's practical.
Yes.
It's very utilitarian.
Yeah, people like using that word.
It's Kudzi's favorite word.
Yes, it's form over function. That's what I like to use.
Yep.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah, it's you got your reach and tilt adjustment. This one comes with flappy paddles, so you got your gear shifters on the... They're not really that flappy, they're quite stiff.
Yeah, but we're gonna see how they perform later on when you take it for a drive. But other than that, I mean, materials are Toyota, so it's hard plastic, but resistant hard plastic, which is good, because that's what you need. Push button start, which is a nice touch.
Push to start!
Push to start. Shout out to Takura one time. Anyways, our gauge cluster looks a bit dated. I mean, given that this is a 2012 model.
This is a 2012 model, yes. But look, I'm old school. Yeah, it is a bit dated. You've got your needles and your, what are they? LCDs, the clock display, the digital clock display.
Yeah,
because it's not color.
Yeah,
it's just like a one color screen.
Yeah.
But as much as it may look a bit dated when the car is off, I love how it just, I mean, watch this. Everything just springs to life, and I love that. I just love it. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, but I love that. The way all the warning lights are just flush in that golden bronze-like trim in the cluster.
So that's the luxury
quite cool.
thing they were talking about.
Well, it's not really luxury, but it's just cool. And then you got your hill descent control, your traction control.
So everything is laid out where it should be. So you got your
No, not everything.
Yes.
Not everything.
Like what?
If you want to adjust your rear view mirrors, where would you look for the controls?
Okay, you got me there.
No, where would you look for them?
On this, on to
Like
your
here,
left,
right?
yeah, to your right.
No,
actually.
it's over here.
It's okay. Yeah, this is the one quirk that I noticed, and I'm like, wait, why are they there? That's
I
like,
mean-
that's like because Mercedes usually have like this stuff here.
Yeah,
All the
even
Mercedes models.
BMW as well. Yeah.
But it's weird how they place them there. I mean,
Like-
maybe because you've got your other buttons there where they.
No, but you can find a way to fit the stuff, man. I mean, you got a blanked out button here. You could have put it there. I mean, why should the front passenger have access to my rear view mirror controls? They're not the ones who are supposed to be seeing behind. It's me. I'm the driver.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
You'd ask Toyota about that.
And then you also have your dual zone climate control.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a chat with a friend of mine who's got one of these.
Okay.
And he says, look, dual zone climate control is just something that sounds fancy when you're talking about it. But it's pretty much a gimmick because there's rarely ever a time when the two of you want different temperatures.
Unless
You're pretty much
really picky.
you're pretty much both hot or you're pretty much both cold. So you're pretty much both gonna need or put the same setting.
What I will mention though, okay, yeah, fair point. What I will mention though is because you don't have like air vents in the rear, it means that whatever setting you're gonna put, if you've got rear passengers, it's gonna be like on high, because these things are gonna have to work extra hard to not only cool or warm you guys up in the front, but also in the rear. And if you've got the third row, those guys also need something.
Okay, yeah, you just reminded me about the third row shenanigans. I'm just happy that this model actually does not have the third row of seats, but there is a version of this
Yeah,
Vanguard
with the third row.
that can
and
seat 7 people. And
In
to
theory.
in theory, it can
Yes.
seat 7 people, but that third row of seats is only good for children, people who are height challenged, and leg amputees.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the target they want to go for. Low-key.
No, look, I'm just glad this model doesn't have it because that makes up for a lot of space at the back of the car.
Yeah, and I'm not sure just how much you have. It's a lot actually.
Mhm.
But anyways, moving on. We've got a screen here. This is a pretty basic screen though. It only shows just the bare minimum. Ideally, like we've said before, you just want to connect your phone and you can use that for music and other things like that.
No reverse camera
No reverse camera
in this particular trim.
Yeah.
Look, another thing that we have to like point out is there are many options that you can pick for these cars. For example, not all of them have the flappy
pedal
paddles.
shifters.
This one has manual seat adjustment, but there are models with powered steering, powered seats. This one doesn't have a reverse camera, but there are models with a reverse camera. But it makes up for all those little quirks with like the storage.
Yeah, you've got a little thing here that opens and closes, and you've got your glove compartment, which is enough room.
Yeah,
Decent.
You got your nice little door bins that can handle bottles and whatever, something small there,
Yeah.
maybe a little sandwich.
You've got your cup holders in the middle there. Look at us Z-CarCulture investing in actual bottles to illustrate just how deep these cup holders are. Look at us, eh? We're making it. Though it's not, this video is not sponsored by Aquaclear. No, this is just.
We actually found those in the car, but yeah,
Hey,
it's a
I don't
happy,
need to know that.
it's a
Come
happy
on, man.
mistake.
Come on. We're leveling up in the world.
Yeah.
Apart from that, let's move up, actually, because this one is spec'd with the
Sunroof, but it's not panoramic.
It's not it's not panoramic, but
not.
it's got a decent size.
Can we show them how it works?
Of course. So there's a button up here that
Of
you
course,
press.
there's a button.
Yeah.
Then you got that, right? And then when you're closing it, if you keep pressing it, it does the tilt thing where it just lifts up, and then you're cruising.
Yeah, dope. And another thing which I want to point out, which is pretty awesome, safety. So you have, apart from the front airbags, you also have curtain airbags.
Yep. So this car has a total of eight airbags. That's 4 in the pillars. Those are the curtain airbags, and
Then
1 on the steering, 1 on the passenger side, and then 2 on the back seats for the back passengers.
So that's a nice touch, because if you're going to be carrying as many people as this can theoretically carry, you need that safety as
This
well.
one is a 5-seater, so and I know it can carry 5 people fairly comfortably.
Yeah, but other than that, apart from the design here, which is okay, not offensive, I think that's pretty much it with the front. So let me give a demonstration of what the back looks like.
Before you move to the back, I like the way they did the little arrow where your door handles are. It kind of like looks like it's an arrow pointing forward, and it kind of like adds on to the name Vanguard. Yeah. So in case you didn't know, Vanguard means...
I don't think that was intentional, but anyways.
But it looks like, I think it's a happy mistake if it wasn't intentional. So Vanguard means the frontline soldiers that go in first in a battle. Those are called the Vanguard. Those are also the pawns in a chess game.
Yeah, but I think it's a nice touch because the RAV4 actually was the first crossover. So the RAV4 pretty much invented this crossover segment. So since the RAV4 was the first, the Vanguard is also a first. But you can't call it a RAV4 2.0 or something like that. So you call it the Vanguard.
Why couldn't they call it a RAV8?
I don't know.
Or 4.2.
Let's
go to the back.
Now this is what I like. You've got so much room in the back, like even a person like me can fit fairly comfortable, and I am very comfortable actually. I've got a bit of room in the front here where my normal driving position would be. I've got some nets here, so if I want to store a few items, I can do that too. Then here we've got the trim, similar to the front, the forward facing what that Brian was on about. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but the design is fairly inoffensive back here. The seats are a bit stiff, I might say. I think the seats in the X-Trail were actually more comfortable than these ones. These ones are, you can actually slide them forward or back, because like we said before, this can be optioned with the 7 seats. So if you want your passengers in the rear to be a little bit more comfortable, you can then slide the seats forward and back to make sure that they fit in, even though it's still a bit tight. We're supposed to have an armrest here, but it doesn't look like it has one, so that's a point down on the Vanguard. Like I said, the X-Trail actually has a central armrest, so this is a bit of a downgrade. But to be honest, a Toyota I think lasts longer than Nissans, and so I'd prefer actually this than anything else. But apart from that, it's fairly simple back here. There is no vents here, which is another demerit unfortunately. But apart from that, it's fairly comfortable. And let me now show you what the boot looks like. Cut it there. Right, onto the back of the Vanguard. One thing you notice right off the bat is that there's a lot of space, like a lot of space. And that's because, like we said before, there's also like a 7-seater configuration. So without the 7 seats like this one, you've got a lot of room. So that's the advantage of getting this. But then, what would be the point of getting this when you can get the normal RAV4? Well, the difference now is the space. You've got loads of it. So you've got a lot of storage too. So you've got netted here if you want to put something there. Also, if you look here underneath the 4th floor, you can actually like lift this up. And once you do that, you can store some things here. There's this divider here which you can remove. So what I've noticed, which is quite funny, is that you can configure this car with about like 4 different versions rather. So you can have this with the seats folded down, and once you do that, you've got a space of about 1,500 liters. When you've got the second row up, you've got approximately 580. So you can either have the seats up like this, or you can have this part here up like this, or you can actually divide. You can remove this divider thingy here, so you can have a larger storage underneath there, or you can have like the cover here which goes on top here if you want to do that, or you can lift this thing up here, which is the net sort of mechanism thing here, and you can use that to divide whatever it is you're carrying. Maybe if you have a pet or something, you can use that as a divider. But yeah, what I like about it, like I said before, loads of room. It does have room for a spare tire, but it's actually mounted at the bottom of the car, almost like your Prados or Land Cruisers. Other than that, you know, everything else is a standard affair because this is a Toyota after all. And the only demerit rather that I'll give this car is that the bumper protrudes quite a lot forward. So if you've got big things that you're carrying, and if you want to like lift them over the bumper, you might end up scraping it as you're trying to lift it over. But apart from that, come on, we're Zimbabweans, we'll make it work. So that's the boot area of the Vanguard. But now I want to see how this car performs on the road. So let's take it out on the road and find out. Right, so now we're in the inside of the Vanguard, trying to see how it drives. And right now we're in a little bit of an off-roady type of thing.
And it feels very capable.
Yeah, a little bit, but it still feels a bit jittery. But I mean, it's okay. It's not really made for this. It's made for the tar, for the road.
It does do a bit of off-roading. Just don't get too overzealous.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have diff locks or anything like that, so that also gives you a hint that it's not really a full-on off-roader.
It is, however, all-wheel drive.
Yes, this version is all-wheel drive, but you can get the Vanguard in
Four-wheel drive.
in two-wheel drive, actually.
Two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. There is a four-wheel drive version.
Yeah. But yeah, when you're on the road, it feels all right. It feels like a Toyota. That's the thing that I like about Toyota. They're standardized. So if you jump into one Toyota, then you probably feel like you've ridden all of them. The exception, of course, are the high-end ones like your
Land Cruisers
and things like that. But for the normal ones, I mean, it feels relatively the same.
Yeah. It's a bit hard on the dampening, but it's not that much of a train smash. And, you know, with the cloth seats, the comfort, again, it's not really a train smash, but it's pretty much what I've come to expect from Toyota, because I realized Toyota is very practical when it comes to making their vehicles. They don't really do too much.
Yeah.
They just do almost the bare minimum, just a little bit more.
Yeah, that's why when I read the press release of this car and they're talking about how this was supposed to be not just a stretched out RAV4, but one that's a little bit more luxurious, I was like, I mean, it's Toyota levels of luxurious. If you want like proper luxurious from Toyota, then you're looking at your Lexus models.
That's the Lexus.
But
side
if it doesn't have the Lexus badge, then it's you know, it's all right. I mean, the one thing that I like in terms of comfort that it does have is how quiet it is.
It is quite quiet. There's not much road noise or tire noise. We've got our windows fully up at the moment, and the turn circle, I'm just doing a U-turn right now. The turn circle is actually quite impressive for a car this size.
The only reason I'm making a U-turn is because you missed our exit.
Yeah, but then I did it on purpose to test the car.
Sure you did. Sure.
But yeah, you know what, the ride quality, you got a 2-liter?
Yeah, so this is 2.4 liter actually.
Yeah.
2.4 liter 4-cylinder. So you have 16 valve VVTi, which is great.
It's great on the low end, so you know your acceleration is quite.
Yeah, it's quite punchy.
Ooh, and the braking, wow.
Yeah, I like it.
Dude, your direction sucks.
I'm saying left and you're going
gosh.
right. I mean.
Anyway, yeah.
Turning right. Then yeah, apart from that though, I feel like it's a fairly competent vehicle. Even in the back, it's just comfortable. I mean, it ticks all the right boxes, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to really mention that we haven't really experienced in other Toyota models like a Harrier or I don't know, like a RAV4 actually. Yeah.
But if you're going to be comparing this car to the likes of the X-Trail, look, interior wise, I think I am in favor of the X-Trail a bit more, but it's a bit unfair because this car was started in like 2007, whereas that X-Trail is like 2016. So it's a bit unfair to compare it directly to it. But that being said, for a car that was made in that time frame, this Vanguard is quite impressive in the sense of the engine performance and your steering and your braking. It's a very, very confident car. But when it comes to like the interiors, I think Toyota needs to up its game a little bit. Look, this is just something that I'm just going to be honest with. I mean, even if you compare like the Hilux with, oh gosh, I'm sorry HBA, but if you compare the Hilux with the GWM, if you compare this with the X-Trail, the interiors, Toyota is always lacking. The interiors are always lacking.
Yeah, it's always.
I get it. They're looking for, like, they're trying to be utilitarian, but you know, this is like 2022. We need a little bit more now. I mean, your engines are superb. They're very reliable. People have attested this thing. I mean, you know, the high-end Toyotas are used by the United Nations and by the bad guys, so that tells you a lot about the car's reliability. But when it comes to the interior, I mean, we can't still be having such a gear shifter in such a car. And even though this is like a 2007 car, some people will argue, but you have the same gear shifter in a 2021 Toyota Hilux or Fortuner, and I find that a little bit. I think they need to up their game a bit.
Yeah, but apart from that, good rant, by the way. It's I mean, it ticks all the right boxes, and it's so.
If you want practicality, this is definitely the car.
And if it will last a long time too, this is what you get.
It's definitely the car.
Definitely.
Oh, and also the fuel consumption on this thing. It does about 12.6 kilometers to the liter, which is quite impressive for a car of this size.
And it's not even a hybrid, so
it's not even a hybrid.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's it.
Why are you touching the handbrake?
Oh, sorry.
So, ladies and gents, that is the Toyota Vanguard. What do you think, Brian?
It's a very practical car, but there are some key areas that I find a bit lacking. But overall, I mean, if you understand Toyota and their aesthetic or their design language, you'll know that Toyota, they focus more on the practical side of things and a bit less on the gimmicky things. But overall, I think it's definitely a car that somebody who's looking for a car in this segment should consider.
I agree. I think I can sum it off in just 2 words, or actually 3. Form over function. That's our 3-word of the day, ladies and gents. And anyways, to wrap that up, thank you so much for watching Z-CarCulture. Check us out on all our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're there. Like and subscribe and comment.
And yeah, even if the comments are bad, really, I mean, as long as they're helpful, we're up for constructive criticism.
Keyword constructive.
Constructive.
Yeah.
And we will know when it's constructive and when it's not. And a huge shout out to
Yarutso Car Rental.
Yeah, check them out. Description in the link in the description below. Yeah.
Below. Anyways, Z-CarCulture. Supposed to say it. Come on, say the thing.
Z-CarCulture. We're out and.
You ruined it. You ruined it.
Don't mess with the HBA.
You ruined it. Moment's gone.
The moment's gone. My bad. I actually want to start and drive towards them.